Hello, everyone. Thank you very much for joining us. I hope you can hear me. My name is Arton Giles, and I work at the Peace and Justice Project. And thank you to those of you who are joining us from all over the world. The Peace and Justice Project stands in solidarity with the Palestinian people who are facing daily assault and genocide by Israel and Israeli war crimes. And today we have a very special conversation with Jeremy Corbyn and Chris Smalls, who's joining us live from the Gaza Freedom Flotilla, the Handala. And the Peace and Justice over the past 18 months and more has been mobilising for the monthly demonstrations here in London and around the UK. We've supported and organised fundraisers for the people of Gaza. And of course, last week, Jeremy launched the Gaza Tribunal, which we're hosting on the 4th and 5th of September to investigate complicity in Israeli war crimes by this British government. I'll let Jeremy come in and say a bit more about that. And of course, the horrible, dreadful situation that we're witnessing daily on our phone screens, on our computer screens, and on the news channel in Gaza. And last week, when we were out demonstrating with 100,000 people in London, we were calling for an end to arms sales. We were calling for an end to the occupation. And of course, we were calling for an end to the siege of Gaza. And that's what Chris and the others on the Handala flotilla, which is sailing right now, are trying to do to try and break that siege of Gaza. And this is just a small act of solidarity between Chris Smalls and Jeremy Corbyn and the Peace and Justice to support the effort. And this live conversation between them will hopefully be one small part of that solidarity that so many people are showing around the world with the Palestinian people. So I'll hand it over to Jeremy. And once again, thank you for joining us here today.
Thank you all for coming on today and giving us your time. And Chris, all congratulations to you, not just for the work you're doing today on the flotilla, but what you always do for workers' rights, for humanity and for peace around the world. You are a legend, my friend, and it's a pleasure to work with you. As Artin explained, the Peace and Justice Project was set up, as it says, for peace and for justice. We deal with many inequalities and injustice issues within our own country, treatment of gig workers and many others, and housing issues and all that goes with that. We're also on the international stage playing a very important part, working with Progressive International over the Hague Tribunal. I'll come back to that in a moment, but also other international work we do of solidarity with people under pressure. And on the 20th and 21st of September, we're holding our conference, our annual conference. The first day is international, second day is more domestic, and that will be online as well. The situation facing the people of Gaza is horrific beyond belief. History is going to be brutal to those politicians that continue to sell arms to Israel, knowing full well that those weapons will be used to kill children and destroy hospitals in Gaza. History will be brutal that they knew starvation was going on, and that indeed, in the words of Netanyahu, they were going to use starvation as a weapon of war. The important thing is what we do about it. I know many people are very, very frustrated. They go on demonstrations and they feel it doesn't make any difference. Well, I know that frustration, I understand it, I empathize with it, but it does make a difference. The politics of every country around the world has been changed and shaped by the situation facing the people of Gaza. The solidarity is essential, and people in Gaza and the West Bank tell me how important it is seeing those demonstrations, but it's also opposing arms sales. And so we have raised the issue of arms sales. There's been many demonstrations outside the arms factories in Britain, and we have constantly challenged the sale of parts for the F-35 jet from Britain, and as Artin said, I have put in a private member's bill to Parliament to set up a Gaza inquiry to find out the legal advice that was given, the arms that have been supplied, the knowledge that they had, the use of RAF bases at Akrotiri and other places that have assisted the Israeli war machine. The government has blocked my bill. I was kind of expecting that because they're a government that does not believe in openness and transparency in what they're doing. And so we've set up our own independent tribunal, which will be on the 4th and 5th of September in Church House in Westminster, which is a very iconic building where many international meetings have been held. And it's based on the principles of the Russell Tribunal and the Assange Tribunal of the past. And it's going to do what the government ought to be doing, which is inquiring into themselves. And so that'll be online. If you can't attend physically, because it's an obviously limited spaces, please join online. You'll hear some excellent opinion, both from medical people, lawyers, and campaigners, and of course, live from Gaza and the West Bank. I just appalled at what is going on. And our job is to do everything we can to bring about solidarity. And the last thing I'll say is this: through Progressive International, we set up the Hague Group after the historic opinions on genocide by the International Court of Justice and, of course, by the International Criminal Court. And we then promoted it and asked all governments to join a UN group to push for the adherence to those judgments. We got 31 countries attending in Bogota last week, and thank you to the government of Colombia, and in particular President Petro, for hosting the conference. And we got a very strong declaration signed by 13 nations of no arms to Israel, of the importance of sanctions, the importance of divestment, and the importance of not handling any goods that Israel can use, which can be used to bombard Gaza or the West Bank. And I'm very hopeful that of the other 18 countries there, many will, after they've been through their local political processes, sign up to it as well. But a big thank you to those 13 countries, which include Colombia and South Africa, include Indonesia and Malaysia, include Cuba and Bolivia and others as well. And so that is, to me, a very, very big step forward. Now, Chris, you're on the flotilla now. You're a seasoned campaigner. Give us a bit of atmosphere of what it's like on the flotilla at this very moment, and where roughly you are, if you have been told that.
Yeah, absolutely. This morning we actually entered. Well, first and foremost, I want to say thank you, Jeremy, for always being the voice for the people, being the people's champ, being a friend and a brother to me, and a comrade and supporter ever since we met over 3.5 years ago. And thank you to the Peace and Justice Project for being the pillar of hope and the beacon of hope for the people of London. I'm always watching and paying attention to what you guys are doing. For those who don't know, we're selling on the Hundella under the UK British flag, just like the Madeleine. So this is particular to the British government that we are safely, legally able to deliver this emergency aid to the people of Gaza who desperately need it. British has a sovereignty to the people who are civilians who are legally able to do and deliver this aid. And it's their responsibility to protect us as we travel across the Mediterranean Sea. Right now, we're currently, as I mentioned, we entered the Palestinian time zone this morning. We're right outside of Greece, not too far away from the coastal line. We're sailing across the Mediterranean, heading towards Gaza, just like the Madeleine. And we'll be arriving, hopefully, without interception, in about 6 or 7 days. Right now, we have a crew of about 21 passengers or volunteers and activists from all around the world. And actually, on this ship in particular, we have 6 Americans, something that hasn't been done in the past trips or missions in the recent times. So as a trade unionist, as an American citizen who taxpaying dollars are going towards this endless genocide who killed nearly 500,000 people in less than 2 years, this is me taking a stance as a labor leader and as an American citizen saying that I'm no longer complicit or participating in this genocide that needs to stop. and we need to break the illegal siege on Israel.
Chris, thanks for that. What's the aid you're taking with you, and how practically will you be able to get it ashore when you reach the coast of Gaza?
We have medical supplies, we have food, we have baby formula, we have baby diapers, we have prosthetic parts, we have tons of stuffed animals and toys for the children, water, and we you name it, we have it. Everything that they need right now, we have. Unfortunately, it's not going to be able to feed every single person in Gaza, but we want to feed them hope. And the ultimate goal is to break the siege, the illegal siege that Israel has imposed on the people of Gaza. Right now, more than 80% of the population is facing starvation, and this has happened even before October 7th. So, once again, this is a message that we're trying to send, that this mission shouldn't even have to happen, that the people of Gaza need to be fed, they need to be treated with dignity and respect and have the liberties as any other civilian in any other country in the world.
Chris, how do we keep in touch with you, and how do the people watching this cast be able to follow what's going on so we can express our solidarity with you? How do we do that?
Please follow the Freedom Flotilla Coalition to Gaza's social media. There's live updates every single day. Almost every other hour, we're posting updating you guys what's going on. There's a live tracker link. You can track the boat step and step, mile by mile. And most importantly, Jeremy, you were at the top of my list as somebody that I wanted to contact as far as being in the government, because we need the politicians, and not just the UK, but also especially in America, because we have, once again, 6 Americans on this Gaza Flotilla, and we need to make sure that the politicians hold the government accountable while we are supposed to illegally be able to deliver this emergency aid.
Chris, I'll put it up on my own social media. Of course, I've got over 2.5 million followers, and I'll put that up there. But we'll also ask everyone who's watching this. So listen up, guys. Anyone who's watching this, rebroadcast all the stuff that Chris has said. Get the word out there, because these guys are putting themselves on the front line. They're putting themselves in a place of potentially enormous danger out of solidarity with the people of Palestine. We owe it to them to give them all the support that we can, and demand that our governments stop the sale of arms and aircraft parts to Israel, because it's not just Gaza that's being bombed. It's now southern Lebanon, it's Syria, it's Yemen, and recently it was Iran.
That's right.
We need peace, and peace is not achieved by bombardment. Chris, what would you say to people who sometimes feel, and I empathize with it, very frustrated that they can see what's going on, they feel very angry, and they feel very limited in what they can do? What's the best thing they can do to make sure they keep getting the word out?
Well, everybody has a role to play. Everybody can't be an activist. Everybody can't be a leader. But there's a role to play for everybody. Whatever you feel that you can do in your power, we're asking that you do it. It's the only way that we're going to keep ourselves safe as a community, as the people who want to speak out for the people of Palestine. We are relying on ourselves. Once again, we have to share as much as possible. Take to the streets. London has been a prime example of how you guys come together with trade unionists, with politicians, with everybody from the community. They come together. They bring out hundreds of thousands of people monthly. Those initiatives help bring hope to the people of Gaza, and that's exactly what we want to do with this mission. And more importantly, to keep us safe. All eyes have to be on the Hundela. As you saw with the Madeleine, Israel illegally kidnapped the 12 volunteers. Some of y'all know very well Greta Thunberg, Rima, Yasmin, Iago from Brazil. These activists are well known, and they still were illegally kidnapped and brought against their will to a prison in Israel. We're facing the same fate here on the Handela. Even worse, in 2010, Israel's IOF boarded the flotilla and killed 10 activists in cold blood. That is on the table for us as well. So please, we're asking everybody to share as much as possible. Get to your local politicians ASAP. Do not wait until we're intercepted or, God forbid, even worse, killed, and then want to speak out. We have a few days ahead of us, and we need to get ahead of the curve right now to apply pressure in any way possible and keep us safe.
Chris, are you okay for doing live streaming into rallies and meetings and things like that, providing you've got connection? I'm thinking, for example, on Saturday, we've got a global conference of Palestine organized by a number of people in the Muslim community.
Yeah.
I'll be speaking at it. And you'd be okay to join in on that and send us a message, would you?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I've been doing some live streams. Actually, I think last night I was on live stream at the Palestinian House in London.
Okay.
So yeah. So anything you guys can do, share with me. We have Wi-Fi. We're able to communicate.
Okay, everybody that's watching this, can we put our hands together figuratively and say thank you so much to Chris and all the team in the flotilla and all that they're doing. They're doing great work, and we need to support them because this is part of a global movement for Palestine, a global movement to understand, is this generation going to do nothing while people are murdered in cold blood for the benefit of Netanyahu, the IDF, and the world arms trade? We can do better than that. We can do different than that. And the Palestinian people will never give up. They'll never go away. They won't allow themselves to be removed out of their homeland. And it's up to us to give them all the support they can. Chris, can you give our solidarity, our thanks, and our love and support to everybody on the vessel with you? Keep safe and keep strong. We know you are. We know you will. Chris, thank you.
Thank you, Jeremy. Thank you. I absolutely will. Love and solidarity. When we come together, we can defeat anybody. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
That's the point. That's it.
Be in touch.